What's up, guys? Here is your boy, and today I'm basically going to discuss something that is really relates to me, and I'm pretty sure it relates to a lot of you guys. So the topic that we're gonna talk about today, guys, is called positivity, and it sounds like kind of like all this cliche kind of stuff, and a lot of people tell you like, oh, like you got to learn about it, and you need to stay positive and think in a way that is doesn't like in a way that is like sounds like all this like happy stuff. But let's take a look at it. Woo! So the topic that we're discussing today here, guys, is the topic of positivity. So this is one of the things that I kind of had in my life, whereas like basically I grew up, and I'm pretty sure most people have the similar situation where you grow up and you're surrounded by people that are pessimistic and people that don't really like support your like vision or purpose or whatever you want to achieve in life. And or you, even if you have like a very simple like goal where it's like, I want to just have fun in my life, like something like that. A lot of people don't really tell you how. They just tell you like, oh, just be this or just be that, but they don't like really like tell you like how to reach there. And for me, I'll tell you some of the things that really like connected with me when it comes down to realizing that like there's certain things that actually work and there's certain things that don't work. And the things that I'm telling you here today are the things that actually do work, and I've seen them consistently work for so many people, because at the end of the day, people kind of focused on one thing. They focused on results, and that is what I talk about in any conversation that I talk about. I focus on the results. What is the results of that person before I listen to that person. So at the end of the day, for my life, I'm happy with my life, and I enjoy going on adventures and try new things every single time whenever I'm outside, and I'm just gonna share some of it. You ready? Let's get started. So right now, guys, we're gonna start off with one thing, and the first thing is the cliche, stay grateful. When it comes down to the practice gratitude, when you're practicing gratitude, it doesn't mean just like, oh, like I'm grateful that I'm alive, or I'm grateful that I can see the sky, or any of that stuff, because you could actually like think about it, but if you don't notice it, you won't really like leave an impact on your life. Because at the end of the day, like if you think about it, now if you live in every single day without realizing what's good about your life, your body, like you realize one thing, that your body is made for you to survive. So it's always gonna look at your shortcomings, and it's always gonna look at what's wrong with you and try to point it out. But the funny thing is, from a psychological standpoint, that when you look at how others look at you, it's kind of interesting, because when others look at you, they see all the good things about you. They don't see the bad things. When like initially when you guys are meeting or you're talking and the deep connection is not there yet, when the deep connection forms, yes, they see like maybe you have this flaw or this flaw, but it's not as bad as you put it in your mind. Like that's something that in all humans, which is like they think about me all the time, which kind of like doesn't really help so many people, you know? So the one thing that I wanted to point out is that regarding being grateful, which is point number one, is basically when you're grateful is like, for example, every day make a system for yourself every day that you're gonna ask yourself this one question: what am I grateful for today? Think about something that you truly feel grateful for, not something that you think this guy in the video is trying to make me feel happy, so I should ask myself this question. No, really think deep. What are you grateful for in your life? Maybe you have great family, maybe you have a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend, maybe you have a great hobby that you're passionate about, maybe you're you are grateful because you're making a lot of money recently, or maybe you're grateful because you are listening to a person through a digital screen. It's kind of interesting the way that, when you look at it, you kind of could analyze the whole situation. So think about the details, that very small details that make up your entire life when it comes down to like what makes you happy. Okay? The second point is positive posture. So when I say positive posture, is a lot of people kind of tend to have a very like slouched posture when it comes down to standing. They would be like doing this, or they would be like sitting on the computer and doing this, and it doesn't really help them, because this is something called physiology. That is, by the way, point number 2, and it is the positive posture. And physiology really plays a big role in how you perceive the world, because if you're always breathing very shallow, like instead of breathing from your stomach, because there's 3 types of breathing. There is breathing from your like up here, whereas you're basically your like the top part of your body, and there's the middle part of your body, which is a little bit better, but the best type of breathing is the one from the belly, where you basically expand your lungs and you make space to have more oxygen in your body. So that's basically it. So that's the best type of breathing. So most people, what they do is like, but then if you slow it down, it's more like, but they're still breathing from up here, and it's not really like more like a calm kind of state to be in. It's more of like a state that is of alert, more of like an alert state, and it doesn't really help you in so many things regarding life, but we could talk about that in future videos. And basically the fix for that is that instead of you standing all like hunched forward and breathing shallow, put your back straight. And when you're talking to people, don't close your body, because when you're closing your body, you're closing your mind at the same time, because you're telling yourself that you don't feel comfortable in that environment. That is why you're closing your body up. Other reasons, yes, it could be that you're a little bit cold, and that's understandable, but still you want to keep your body like open for the most part, because as well it sends signals for others that you are open to talk to them. Like there's also those subconscious signals that you send people whenever you're kind of like moving your body. So shoulders back and breathing from your stomach. You could join me if you would like. Basically, we're gonna count for 3. Inhaling in. 1, 2, 3. Alright, exhaling out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that is just one breath, and you basically want to do between 10 to 12 breaths before you actually like have a full effect of how it feels like. And I'm just putting that out there. So the third point that we're gonna talk about right now, guys, is called the social circle, or your peer group, so to say. Your peer group really influences how you think and how you look at the world. Because at the end of the day, if you live in your life with people that kind of don't really support your life, you're gonna live a life that is mostly like negative. And at the same time, if these people are negative, you will become negative. And at the same time, if these people tend to have a negative trait that you don't want, subconsciously you will adopt it, because you would want to fit in the group think that they have, or the tribe. Because back in the Stone Age, we always wanted to fit in, because if we didn't fit in, we'd basically like get cast away and we would fucking die, and a lot of people didn't want to die, so they had a lot of pain attached to like someone abandoning them, or so in order for them to avoid that, they always had to be pleasers and please all the people around them and be like them in everything. And that's what's the majority of what's happening right now. People are going on social media and having all these cool photos and stuff like that of a girl going out to the gym and taking like 1,000,000 photos of her butt, and you know, guys liking it, but there's no substance. And as well, a guy would go out and would film all of his adventures with girls and stuff like that. It's cool, but to a certain point where you're like having fun with it, not that you're trying to prove a point. You know, a lot of guys kind of tend to want to prove themselves in a way, and it just gives off the vibe that it's just you're trying to prove something, which shows that you have a lack. But that's mainly what we're talking about. So the social circle really determines who like the quality of life that you will have and the quality of a person you will be, because you will see them on a frequent basis. You know what I mean? And that's mostly what I'm talking about here. So usually, like the quote says, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend your time with, or you are, which is better, you are the average expectations of your peer group. Let that sink in. Think about it. You are the average of the expectations of your peer group. And that's something that really hit me, because for most of the part of my life, I didn't really have like a supportive social circle, and I focused more on like kind of having quantity instead of quality, because quality is what will trump anything in life, because eventually you will succeed if you have the quality in you. If you're just looking to have a lot of things that are not valuable, like regarding skills, they are not gonna really help you be successful, because there's no substance, so to say. So your peer group really influences you. Moving on, guys, the fourth thing that we wanted to mention here is basically do something kind. So when it comes down to how to become more positive and doing something kind, there's something called contribution. When you help others with something, you feel good about yourself. You feel like you did something to change the world to the better. So whenever you have a chance to help somebody, that is a great way to actually help yourself to feel better, because it makes you feel as a better person. And you are a good person if you are watching a video like this, because you're basically wanting to improve on yourself and wanting to actually like make it better when it comes down to your life. So at the end of the day, like, understand that you will mess up, you will make mistakes, and sometimes some people will hate you, but you got to tell that to people, because you're human at the end of the day. So understand that you are growing, I am growing as well, but at the end of the day, we are trying to help each other as a whole to reach the outcome when it comes down to happiness in life. And that's the point of positivity. So help people if you can, and if you can't, that's fine. If you have the chance, you don't have to help people every day. That's what I'm trying to say. If you can help them whenever you can, then go right ahead, and it would actually make you feel good about yourself. We could talk about this more, and actually in later videos, because I could expand on this topic like a lot, because I did so much research about it. And another thing is that eating healthy, number 5. Eating healthy would actually make you so much more positive, because it will help you get to that point that you are basically thinking about, like, if you're always filling your body with junk and the things that don't really like are not like really helping your body perform the best that it could, it will kind of affect your performance. Because think about it, if you eat bad food, you will have bad energy. When you have bad energy will lead into bad mood. When it comes to bad mood, when you're in a bad mood, what actions do you think you will take? You'll take bad actions, and the cycle just rinse and repeat itself. If you want to rewind the video like 10 seconds to see like exactly what I meant, to be able to understand it and acknowledge it better, you could rewind it a little bit, like 5 or 10 seconds. But you get the point that if you eat bad food, it's gonna affect everything in your life, because the small decisions in life is what really matters, because they shape you, they shape who you are. You are the one that has the ability to say yes or no. And most people tend to want to say yes to everything, because they just want to have that instant gratification. They want to have the ice cream, they want to have the 100 likes because they posted a picture about their body. They want to have the 100 likes because they posted a picture of money. They want to have like validation from people because they bought the new Rolex or the new Maserati and stuff. All these things, they're just like the lifestyle. And most people like kind of think of it is that the more that I have, the more that I want to spend. But that's the opposite way. I mean, we're going into finances here, but is that a lot of people are just trying to prove things to others instead of making themselves happy. And it comes down to that positivity part. Is like, when it comes down to your body, you want to take care of your body, because your body will take care of you. And we could discuss it more later, guys. If you have any questions, you can leave it down in the comments. I'm very open to discuss anything, and my main point is to provide value for you guys. I hope you find it informative, and let's keep going. So when it comes down to setting and achieving goals, that is number 6. Number 6 is when you set goals and achieve them, you reach levels of confidence when it comes down to that point, and it helps you become more positive, because the more that you become more confident in yourself, the more that you'll be able to look at things, and instead of running away from them, you would face them head on. And when you face a situation that you're scared of and that you feel so uncertain about, and you understand that no matter what, you will be fine. Think about a tip for that is about setting and achieving goals, is that think, what is the worst outcome that could happen? And think, what happened if you do it? And what happened if you don't do it? What will happen? Think about that. And then think, which one is more painful? Doing it or not doing it? You understand? Because this thing is what drove me like mad, because a lot of people live their life as they will live forever, and they don't realize that eventually one day all they have is gonna be gone. You are going to die someday. I am going to die someday, and I need to be realistic with you, because that's the truth. And in order for you to become positive, since we're talking, funny enough, since we're talking about positivity, like in order for you to become positive, you need to think about it in a way that is basically like, I need to realize what's going on to be able to make it better. But if we're always gonna run away to make it like happy, yay, positive, you know, it's not gonna help anybody. So moving on, 7. Point number 7 is know your values and know what matters to you. So when it comes down to knowing your values and knowing what matters to you, you gotta understand that in life, a lot of people live their life not knowing exactly what they're living for, not clear about what they want out of life. And when you tend to just live aimlessly in life, and things happen to you that you kind of you become, maybe you have a like a psychology bachelor or bachelor degree, or you kind of maybe have a good job position, but deep down inside things just happen to you, and at the same time you not really you don't really know if you enjoy whatever is happening to you or not. So what I mean by that is like basically having clear vision or purpose, or something that you truly do enjoy doing, or like an experience that you'd like to try, like you'd like to go skydiving, you'd like to go paintballing, or do you like to even like go talk to guys or go talk to girls or any of that stuff, dating and all that stuff. Like if you like something do it, instead of just like being like in this state with like somebody would ask you a question, you would tell them I don't know, or like they ask you something about your personality, you tell them I don't know, or they ask you something about what they want to do, you tell them I don't know. I mean, all this stuff is understandable if you don't really know for the most part, but if you're trying to find your way, that is the point to positivity. Because when you are positive, you want to kind of aim for something, and even though you don't know how you can get it, you try to be resourceful to get it. So you think about the many different ways that you could do to reach that destination. Maybe you could watch like YouTube videos to learn it. Maybe you could read books about it. Maybe you could like ask people that you know that could tell you about how to get this thing. Or maybe you could even like think and think deeply for a second, and by yourself, like ask yourself, do I have like the capability to do this? And always try to be creative with your thoughts, because you don't want to kind of limit yourself. So if you have a goal of like, I want to kind of become more positive in life, okay, how can I achieve that? Okay, I could do this and this and this and this from this guy that is talking in the video. So having a clear vision, and now when somebody asks you a question and tells you like, okay, like what do you want out of life? Maybe you could tell them like, I want to become more positive, and I want to like help people in the process. Or maybe your purpose is I want to be the best dancer in the world. Or maybe your purpose is that I want to be an Instagram model. You know, all this stuff is just like, understand what do you want out of life. It doesn't have to be clear and very precise, but you need to have like a general idea. Because in order for you to become positive and be like happy for the most part of your life, if not all of your life, hopefully, is that you need to find out like what do you want, and you need to find like a general perspective of what you want, and you need to go after it. And from there, when people ask you questions and try to get to your personality, now your personality has substance, now your personality has character, now your personality is getting developed, instead of being like this immature person that is just like stuck in this in the middle of knowing and not knowing. You kind of just choosing to stay in a state of like hopelessness, because you think that you cannot do anything. So it's all about how you look at it. And so in general sense, what you want is like, you basically want to know your values, know what you stand for. So if you stand for your health, if you stand for love, if you stand for being kind to others, that if you stand that you want freedom in your life, you need to determine at least minimum 10 values that you have and you value in your life, and you need to live by them. So you could literally like list them down. I did that before, and that helped me kind of be clear of like, what are the things that I really do care about whenever I meet people or whenever I'm living my life in general. So it could be like freedom, empathy, and you could think about adventurousness, like someone that is funny if you want to spend your time with, or just humor in general, and when it comes down to like knowing what matters to you, knowing what kind of goals do you want out of life, whether it is like, oh, I want to achieve this thing and become like the best swimmer in the world, or I want to know like how to fix any car and become like a super mechanic, something like that. Like, just think about it. So mainly what I'm talking about here, guys, to summarize all this, is that think of things that you really do care about regarding your values, and think about things that you truly do enjoy regarding actions, and you do those on a daily basis. And from there, you get to develop your character. You get to let people know the quality of you, because a lot of people lack this kind of thing, where it's like they actually take action to improve themselves. because a lot of people talk. There's so little people that actually take action. So you could listen to this whole video, but if you don't apply any of it, your life will never change. And that's just the reality of it. Number 8 is find the positive in every situation. So when it comes down to finding the positive in every situation, is that basically when you are enjoying your life, you want to basically, no matter what obstacles you encounter, you want to see the obstacles as situations. They're not like good or bad, they're just situations. They're experiences. They're just different experiences. So when it comes down to even good experiences, you don't look at it as good experiences. They're just experiences. So it's all about your perspective. So think about it. If you're encountering an obstacle, what does that make you do? It helps you become more creative. It helps you become more resourceful. It helps you become more like have more depth to your personality, and it helps you like look at things how they are when you overcome them. So these are just points that kind of like, if you think about it, you will be able to understand that most of the things that people overreact about, they're not really that worth it, because they don't give, you know, they don't really help with kind of producing results. And I'm all about results, funny enough. So mostly, guys, what I'm trying to say here is that think about it, and whenever you're encountering a situation, think about the good things in the situation. So for example, if you were driving a car and your tire got like blown off, what happened there? Maybe you learned now how to change a tire, or maybe now you called someone and they came and helped you, and from there you kind of you talked more with that person and you had a better connection as a person. So, or maybe you got after the tire got blown out of your car, is that maybe you were in a life or death situation, right? And you went to the hospital, and then you realized after you got released from the hospital that there's things in this world that you wanted to chase, but you're not, because you were stalling. There's always good in every situation, you just gotta look at it. And as easy as it is for me to say that, you have to see the times that I had that were bad, that I just decided, and a decision is very important. A decision is what will create your life. I decided to look at what's good out there. I decided to look at what will help me out there. And I want that for you too. So, moving on, guys, though, the next thing that I'm talking about is, and please feel free to like hit the comments and let me know what do you guys think, so we could always, you know, expand on the topic, because I love talking to people that, you know, are willing to be curious. The next thing is number 9, which is like basically the next thing is number 9, and number 9 is going to be it's called Living in the Now. And there's actually a book that is talking about it. It's called The Power of Now. And this book talks about how you should be present in the present, of really realizing what's happening. That's part of it when it comes down to positivity, is like a lot of people live in this world in a state of trance, like like they're very like they're like dreaming, or like they're very lucid when it comes down to living life. Like they're just walking and they're not aware of anything of what's happening. Like it's more of like regarding that area, it would be more of like you becoming more mindful, because it helps you become more of a person that would see the world in a view that is, for example, to help you simplify what I'm trying to say here, is that when you're walking, think what is happening right now. Oh, I'm walking. Yo, I have 2 feet. I like having feet. and then the rain starts pouring down from the sky, and then you feel the sky and you appreciate the sky. It sounds like something like weird and something that is crazy and weird, like, why would you say that? But the reality of it is, like, when you appreciate every single moment and really live in that moment, it becomes so much more better. But if you're just living, like, for example, if you're like sitting next to someone and you guys just watching TV and you're just sitting there and you're just talking, you don't feel each other's presence, you don't feel each other together. How you should be talking to someone is by giving them your undivided attention and talking to them. Nobody else matters, you and them, no one else, you know. And it's understandable if you guys are having like a group setting, it's understandable. But at the same time, like, if you're having a partner or if you have a boyfriend or even someone that you do care about and you're talking to, you want to give them your undivided attention to have this quality time. Like we mentioned, it's not about the quality of the quantity of something, it's about the quality of it. Doesn't matter the quantity of your friends. You could have 1 million friends, but any of these friends would not leave an impact on you in a good way. And it's same thing here. You could have 1 million interactions with multiple people, but you won't really feel like you had any happiness during that time, because you thought about it, you were just like, yeah, we're talking. But if you don't focus on the quality of the interaction, you are not gonna be able to reach that point where you're like, oh, like, I like being with that person, like this person like really makes me happy from the bottom of my heart. This kind of feeling is rare. So that's why you need to create it by being present with the people that you talk to, and as well having fun with the time that you spend. Because at the end of the day, happiness is a way of life. It's not just you living life and feeling happy and feeling positive. It's about being positive all the time, being happy all the time. Not because you don't feel sad or you don't feel angry or you don't feel insecure. Everybody feels that. I feel that. Everyone feels that. But some people choose not to stay there, and you don't want to stay there if you want to reach where you want to reach, which is becoming more positive. Another point, guys, is give yourself a break, to be honest. And like, because if you focus on like always like working and achieving and like going there and like going on a cruise there and like what I'm trying to say is have a break when it comes down to taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, taking care of your body, taking care of something that relates to you. When it comes down to always like partying, always going out, always like working, always studying, you want to have this time for yourself, because you need to. I'm not trying to be a monk in here, to be honest, but at the same time you want to have a life that is will give you that you will enjoy. So from time to time you want to help yourself, like in every day. By the way, that's something that I do for me. I think of something that I could do for myself. It doesn't matter who is like in my mind. I focus on myself first before I focus on someone else, because that's how I'm going to help them, and that's how am I gonna like help others in the process. It's by helping myself, and that's something. So focus on helping yourself in a certain way. Maybe it's like, oh, I'm going to play video games for an hour after I do all of my homework, or after I do all of my work, or after I finish this project, or you could fill in the blank. You're gonna reward yourself, because you wanna always reinforce good behavior, because good behavior is what's gonna lead you to success, positivity. So, and if you reward yourself for bad behavior, if you go home and you look at inappropriate like websites and stuff like that, and you do that all day every day, and you just reinforce that will become your default, and that's what you're gonna feel all the time. You just want to do this one action. If you if you're a girl and you're out there and you're just focusing on like getting the instant gratification when it comes down to looking at Netflix, looking at like Instagram and like just messaging people and getting notifications all the time just to feel validated, it's cool. We have to do it once or twice. Yeah, there's no problem. But don't do it because you're trying to prove something. Do it because you're having fun with it, and reward yourself for do it to get rewarded for some work that you did, not because you're trying to feel good all the time, because that will not make you fulfilled. And that is the truth for men and women. If you just living life for fun and you're not really having any growth in your life, you're not gonna feel that you really lived a life that is fulfilling to you. So for the main part, this is the end of this video. Thank you for everything. You guys are awesome. Peace out.